Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CRO Podcast with your hosts, myself, Courtney, and Will.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, we're co-founders of the CRO Agency and manage the CRO network.
Yeah, so a bit about the podcast. Every week we answer common questions about CRO, have CRO network members on the podcast or show off latest in CRO advances. And this week is really, really exciting because this has also come from one of our network members. So shout out. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And this week, we're actually diving into a really interesting sort of CRO adjacent area, and it is thank you pages and how they relate to maximizing revenue. So this is quite often like an overlooked area, I'd say, but it is definitely like vitally important to the user journey to maintain lead quality. So the topics that we will discuss kind of thank you pages, like what is it, why does it matter, the key content to have on there, and also upselling, cross-selling, what you really need to know about that. So I think it's gonna be a good one. So ready to get started.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question one. Well, question more so it's thank you pages. Sort of what is it? And why does
Discuss.
it matter? Yeah.
Thank you, pages.
Open
Discuss the
question.
term.
Yeah.
First off, I also want to quickly mention I do not have a mic today, so if my sound quality is awful, I'm very sorry. I'm in beautiful Tenerife, so my bad. I should have brought it. Yeah. So to the business. Thank you pages. What are they and why does it matter? Yeah, I think this is an often overlooked area. I think it's a type of page that a lot of people struggle with because they don't seem as important in the user journey. I think it's really important to emphasize that they are really, they're actually one of the most important elements of your page. So when you think about your whole funnel, you've got your ad, you've got your landing page and your form, if you're running a multi-step form. Someone does an action to become a lead, and then you have to say thank you at that point. So it's like that third part of that user journey. But this is before, you've contacted them or anything like this. This is the first really positive response they've had from your page. One of the most common issues we see is when people have a thank you page that is like a knife to the heart, where it's like, great, we'll get in contact with you. So, okay. Giving out your details on to like over the internet, particularly your personal contact information, and you've done all this this work. It is quite vulnerable, and there's a lot of trust issues. So you have to immediately reassure people and tell them that they've done a really good job. And so that's why a thank you page exists, rather than just pushing them to nothing or whatever. You've got to show that they have given that over their details, and this is what's going to happen next. And this is why they've made such a really good and positive decision today. Yeah, I will
It's quite
say
ominous, I think, to get like
yeah,
we're going to contact you. Like,
yeah, just like, oops, like, when, why, how, where,
yeah, like what is happening? I'm scared. Like immediately fear. Yeah.
Yes, it's often it's just a user journey that people don't really think about, or they just there's not a lot of. It's quite hard to test on the thank you page because uh you need
Like down
quality
the line
data.
data.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
much, you need a lot more of that data to actually like get robust outsets from it. So a lot of people don't really test on it. They don't really think about it. They just like do a one and done, and they never change their thank you
Mm.
pages.
And
And
also
then,
like,
mhm.
yeah, I think also from a business perspective, you've got the lead. So almost you as a business, like as a company, you're kind of like, okay, that part's done, and then we move on to the next part. But it's
Mm,
such an integral part in connecting both of those parts of the process, really, isn't it? Because, if you have that, I mean, just because you have the lead obviously doesn't mean you're going to have the sale, but like if someone's done it, they've given you their contact details, and then all of a sudden they're just getting into like the void, or they're not getting being thanked, or they don't know what's happening, then you might just lose them there, and they're just going to be like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to answer any calls that I get because I don't trust it anymore. And you're losing that trust, and there's a huge friction point there. Whereas if you support that, you're just more likely to get that lead to sale rate sort of where you want to have it.
I mean, you put your finger exactly on the money there. It's that contact rate. Out of 100 leads, maybe 50% will be contactable. With a good thank you page, it might be 60%, and that's
Yeah.
20% more leads you might be able to sell to, which might be 20% more revenue, which might be which it might be
Yeah.
20% more EBITDA, like more gross profit and more net income. So like it's a really, really leveraged point in that funnel. Whereas a bad thank you page, maybe 40%. So you've
Yeah.
lost all that revenue. So again, like it is, it's just with like it's the bounce rate of the sales process. It's the first point of it. And obviously, yeah, it's if you neglect that part, then you're just making your life hard for your sales team. And it is common because like the thank you page is owned by marketing, but like, it's now sales team's problem in a way. Like, this is
Yeah.
now their problem. Whereas really it's, as you mentioned, it's forming that bridge between them. We have this concept again and again
Yeah.
and again. Lead gen is as good as your, marketing and your sales together, but it is, that integration
Yeah.
between them that really matters. Just as like, it's the whole
Exactly.
unified user journey.
And you're making
Mm,
sales life just so much harder. You can't
yeah.
outsell broken trust. You just can't do it. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's sort of like saying you can't outrun a bad diet. Like, you need to have everything sort of make sense, you know. I still try and outrun a bad diet. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, no, I think there is some truth
I
to
love
it.
I love the idioms you come up with. What is it? There's something about a mermaid dolphin diving into something. What's the first one? I can't
There is
remember.
like
It's
swimming
brilliant.
with flippers.
Oh yes, CRO is swimming with flippers.
Swimming with flippers. It's just so much easier, especially because I've started doing laps in the pool. Just as a tangent. It's really hard.
Love it.
But yeah, I think like because I used to be in sales, and I mean, obviously they're not even going to pick up the phone. If they do pick up the phone, you're going to be met with so much skepticism and distrust. And I mean, generally, it's you just can't. You're making sales life so much harder. They're having to start way back here instead of already quite deep into the process. If at all, if at all. Yeah.
So
All right.
maybe like flowing onto that, you're already starting to touch on some of the core topics there. I mean, do you want to intro some of the core content? What a good thank you page looks like, and what kind of content you want to have on there. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is all hugely under the umbrella of trust. Do I trust you as a company, and do I trust you with my details, and do I feel like I've actually done the right thing? Because I think that's also something you
mm,
said. Like, people are sort of worried. Like, was that the right thing? It's sort of just that worry that comes from exposing yourself, really making yourself quite
yeah.
vulnerable on the internet. You want to have reassurance there to make sure, hey, yes, you've done the right thing. So I think a thank you page has its name because it has a specific function that is in some way to thank them. I really dislike though, like, thank you for giving me your details. That feels really icky. But even just like something congratulatory, like, hey, nice one, good job, excellent, and this is what's going to happen, and just kind of starting off on that sort of like that foot, and then sort of moving into, okay, well, what is the user journey now? What is going to happen? Who's going to call me? What am I like? What can I
Mm,
expect? Like, setting that, it's just expectation management is so important here because I don't know what's happening. Everything is happening sort of in sort of like a sandbox somewhere where I'm not involved as the user. So being able to know, okay, exactly this, then this, then this, and this is what you can expect. And even having things like, what do I need to do? Like, hey, have your phone ready. Someone's going to call you. Have your, I don't know, details ready or something. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to always be in there, but sort of along that line of really just making sure that users are
mm,
aware of what the journey is. Um, I think as well having a loader, um, kind of
yeah.
like that can be really, really effective, just making it feel like all of it's done. I've put in all of my details. It's been accepted. I've been matched with something. Something's happening. There's momentum here. I'm getting that. Again, it's reassurance as well. Like, hey, this is working. The wheel is turning. I'm really going to get what is sort of like that value offer that I've obviously sort of gone ahead and tried to get. Um, and then if there's any like specific details that you can kind of add in there as well, I think it's quite interesting. Like if you, for example, could have like a reference number. I think people feel
Mm,
that's very tangible. It feels like it's really like moving
yeah. Very
down the process
professional.
and things are happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And then you
Yeah.
can
And
kind of refer back to
mhm.
something,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, like some person, thank you, like, say thank you, John, or thank you, whoever, thank you for
Yeah.
doing this. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, anything dynamic, I think is really good. Even having like potentially an overview of everything that they just feel like, hey, this has actually gone into the information and they're doing something with it, even though it's all
Mm,
just dynamically pulled. It feels, it just feels very specific to me and to just the journey that I've gone on. And then, yeah, again, like who is contacting them and how are they going to do it? So who is it? What company is it? Are they experts? Do I want to be speaking to this person? Like,
Yeah.
why should I want to speak to this person? You need to sort of convince me of that and then explain to me how they're going to do it. Hey, you're going to get an SMS or you're going to get an email and just look out, check your inbox. They're going to be doing this.
Mm.
They're going to call you. It'll only take 5 minutes. They're going to talk about this with you. So you're preparing them as much as possible,
Yeah, I
you
really
know?
agree with that one. I think we saw on Solar Sherpa when we looked at that funnel again, like that's like the most like trust
So
focused funnel we've ever
great.
seen with so much writing on there. But you know,
Yeah.
we you know, interesting. But yeah, if I remember on that thank you page, I mean, it was too much in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like for each, for like who might be contacting them as well. They didn't actually say who, but you know, it
Yeah.
was like just a paragraph of text on why we think the supplier is great. And I think, you know, we
Yeah.
probably boiled it down, bullet points, make it easier for people to ingest. But like that's
Yeah.
really the right kind of concept. You want to be like, you know, these guys are great. And we think you're gonna really like them because like, you know, this, that, the other. Yeah.
Yeah. You should be talking to them like they are
Mm,
the best in the biz. And we're not just saying that. Like if you can convey that. But I mean, to be fair, you want to have all of the really important information above the fold. I don't think people are spending too much time on a thank you page. They're not sort of like scrolling through and doing everything. However, keeping things short, as you just said, bullet points short, like really scannable, like readability needs to be up there. But I think that if you want to just kind of like double down, potentially not
mm,
quite as hard as Solar Sherpa, but just having sort of that information and then just sort of having a little bit below the fold that you can scroll down and you can see,
mm.
okay, this is who they are, or this is just a little bit more information. I think that
Yeah.
works.
I've definitely seen some really cool, particularly it's brands, so like less within lead gen, you know, when you're doing third party lead gen, but more like if you're doing
Yeah.
internal lead gen, whack like your sales teams like about the team who's going to be contacting you.
Yeah.
Laura's going to contact you. Laura's great. Laura
Oh,
likes
Laura's
dogs.
great
She's going to be
too.
phoning you in
Yeah.
5 minutes. This
Yeah.
is any we're not, well, we may be referring to Pacific Laura, shout out to you.
Yeah.
But we may not be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you know, like it's all that kind of thing that adds that personal touch, that, you know, makes
Yeah.
people, you know, substantially more engaged, which it
Yeah,
really does,
definitely. When you're speaking
you know,
directly to me,
yeah,
then I feel spoken to.
yeah,
And then of
exactly. And
course,
it's,
like, yeah.
mhm,
No, please
yeah,
go.
no,
I'm
it's
just
just,
speaking
I
over you.
think, no, I like, we would talk about it again and again and again. It's like trust is so paramount. You know, relevance, you know, how it's really going to work, like all, and what's like effort and time and value. So like anything you can
Yeah.
do just to clarify those like psychological like pieces of unease on that thank you
Yeah.
page, it's all the same again. It's like it's just the same things over and over and over again. And just
Yeah.
keep it nice and clear. Keep it short. Make sure it's you know, easy for the user as well. You're not demanding things of them.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there's like, because like I've been reading up about ethical CRO a fair bit lately, just because it
mm,
really piqued my interest, kind of this whole concept. And I have thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but that's for another day and another time. However, um, what is interesting is I was kind of like writing out my ideas, and I think that the way that you could say, kind of, for me at least, that you could be ethical with your CRO is just aligning the expectation management with what happens. So you're not pulling the wool
mm,
over anyone's eyes. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, okay, this, that, and the other is going to happen. I'm not lying to you to get you somewhere, and then I'm going to like do a bait and switch, and then all of a sudden something else is going to happen. In making sure, if you want people to believe you, do what you say and say what you do. And so basically, that's exactly what that would be, like using this thank you page to really just be like, okay, we're going to actually show you that we mean business because we're going to tell you exactly what we're going to do. And then we're going to follow up by doing that. And part of that, again, with that thank you page is like SMS email. If you're getting these contact, like these pieces of like contact details, then what you want to do is you want to use them and you want to be like, okay, hey, here we are, we've done our thing, this is what's happening, and this is just a follow up, and we're true to our word. And then you can have that
yeah.
kind of aligned CRO with exactly what's happening to the experience and the process. And I think that is something that I would personally put under the like the umbrella
Yes.
of ethical CRO. You know?
Definitely, it's I would actually really agree with. I think it's a really good example of it where it's could be a really meaningful one. And that SMS and email point, it is all part of like it comes under that thank you page, that connection. Like your thank you page is you just think it's like your connector to your sales process. And as part of that, it's obviously the content you show, but also you're following up with them via email. Hopefully you're going to give even kind of repeating, but maybe even more specific. If you can say like, oh, because you've answered, let's say, you can make it even more dynamic based on this, this more, whatever content they've given you. So you can do that. Same with SMS, you can nurture them, you can ask more questions. So you really, we won't go, like, I think that's a whole another topic
Yeah.
that maybe we can dive into another time. But yeah, obviously, the lead journey, you must provide an email and SMS follow. I think most people will be doing so. But again, you should be thinking
Yeah.
about the same issues and things as you
Yeah.
would on your thank you page, and you would on your landing page. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think the next part of that as well, like if we're thinking about sort of the sales process, what about like I know that you've definitely got some thoughts, feelings, and
Mm.
emotions, but sort of upselling, cross selling, like what do companies need to know about that? Because I think this one's a bit of a trick. Well, it's not quite clear, generally speaking. I don't think.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. So we're gonna first have to be really particular. We're talking about upselling, cross-selling in the context of lead generation. So you have just a third-party lead generation because there's maybe some other points we can talk to in a minute about how brands do this, but we'll start with those third-party lead gens because I think most of our audience are third-party lead gens. They get to a
Yeah.
thank you page. There's a real temptation to hawk another product on your thank you page. Be like, because you did this, maybe you'd like this. If they've done point of sale, big B2B lead gen topic, maybe they'd be interested in a merchant account. Or, for instance, if they've done hearing aids, maybe they'd be interested in laser eye, or maybe they'd be interested in actually walk-in bathtubs, where like again a lot of people need them as you get older. So related. So the idea is you put related verticals onto your
Mm,
thank you page, and then people click on this, and there's a lot of different iterations you do this to essentially just get more revenue from that lead. So
yeah.
that's what we're referring to here. There's a lot to unpack around this one. So first off, it is not best practice in the way that I think it's a great temptation. It is not best practice. You don't see it lots because the lead quality from those leads is nearly always really, really weak. There's a couple of reasons for that one. So first off, they're already being contacted by this other supplier, and then you're basically getting them to be contacted by yet more people. People only have so much bandwidth. So as a
Yeah.
result, the contact rates are already by default lower. And then it's like, okay, so how do you build for this? So there's, when you're providing like an upsell, cross-sell opportunity module, you've got all their contact details. You can have a one-click thing. It's just like, yep, I'll get it from them. Won't that be good? Again, that is the lead quality on those is really, really bad. If you just do like a one-click one, there is a relatively happy medium where you push them through to another page and make them do the whole journey again. So if people want to do it, then they can, but like make it more involved to improve that lead quality a little bit, and you can get extra revenue from that one. But I will say, if your lead quality is really good and you're running mostly, really high quality traffic, or you're doing a lot on the back end to qualify them, it can be really powerful because this is free money. It's
Yeah.
why like this topic comes up again and again and again. I've not yet really seen someone crack it and be like, this is now the best practice way to be like this how you
Yeah.
upsell on your thank you page. And I know in most businesses that I'm aware of, um, but like thank you page leads, you can get a lot of them, but they really dilute lead quality massively. So as a result, largely they are not used. Like they give up free money and don't go down that one because the lead quality just it's nearly
Yeah.
always like you're looking at like a third of normal lead quality. And if you're cross-selling
It
from
feels
one
like
big
it's getting
vertical
too
to a
greedy, you know?
yeah, like
A
one
little
thing at a
bit.
time. Like yeah,
Yeah.
again, at long tail revenue though of like everyone wants to increase revenue per lead they generate. That's where your email and SMS come into play here. So not the like the thank you page style, but instead like, oh, a week after submitting, like, thank you, how's
Yeah.
it been going? I think it's
Yeah.
been
Lead
good for you,
nurturing.
that one. Yeah, to instead be
Yeah.
like, right, maybe now you'd be interested in laser eye or walking bathtubs, or
Yeah.
maybe you'd be interested in, stair lifts, another
Yeah.
very big senior one, or maybe you're interested in this. Anyway, and
Yeah.
those leads, really good quality, great. Like if people are still engaged and interested, and again, SMS
Especially
and
because they've
email,
already got that trust. That trust is built in. So you're not working on starting at zero and gaining trust. You're actually working from a really good position there. You're already trusted. So you can say, hey, um, we've just because we're really nice, we've noticed that you have had this, and we do often actually see people buy this. So people already have it in their head. Oh, okay, well,
mm,
other people are doing this. I may as well have a little look because it could be, worthwhile. And I already trust the brand, so I'm, not as hesitant. They've already got my contact details, and it makes it so much easier that I don't actually have to go out now and search for a whole new thing. I can just do it here. So there's a lot more to kind of like win on that side, I think. And I think it just doesn't have quite that sort of like on the nose feel of, okay, you've just gone through this before anything happens at all. Click on here and let's go through this process again so that you can get double
yeah,
the calls and double the stress of that for sure.
yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, it's a tempting, what's the oh, okay. I'm not going to go for a random idiom in this case, but it's like the tempting thing that you should avoid. And as a really, really quick
Yeah.
summary, like, yeah, those thank you page upsell leads, really good margin, and you can get a lot of additional revenue. It is a poison chalice. That's what I was trying to think. It's a poison chalice. That lead quality is really bad, and it will die. You have to be used with extreme caution. In some cases, I've seen
Yeah.
people like turn it off and on and said when they just need a bit more margin for whatever reason. But then the
Yeah.
other way of like this upselling, cross-selling is CRM, which is, after a week or, and, start sending them emails about cross-selling these products. That great quality volume. I mean, you've got really big email lists can be really good. There's a lot of cross-sell, particularly B2B. I mean, it's massive. Email is
Yeah.
CRM is huge. B2C it's less so because everyone gets a billion things regarding
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so
It was my birthday this week, and my
mhm,
email just it was like 40 emails from different companies with like, "Hey, here's your happy birthday reward," and like some of them I was just like, "This feels insulting almost." Like it's like a 5% discount on something where I'm just like, "You could at least do 10." You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I don't
Like it's your
know.
birthday, like, do something. I used to love
Once
the
a
ones like,
year, you want me to
yeah,
buy something? 5% isn't going to make me buy anything.
I mean, again, if I was like, so just saying, like, if one of us are running, like, could you give them a personalized gift? Could you send them a letter? A letter would
Yeah.
be nice. Could you say,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of things you can do that aren't like, you do need to stand out, for that. I mean, it's actually a great point of, actually, the best form of CRM, by the way, if anybody's curious, is sending people letters to the home. It was brilliant. It's the hardest version to do. It's really expensive, but for certain verticals, it just prints money.
But it's nice
But yeah,
having like a piece of post that's not a bill and it's like
yeah,
giving you something back, like for sure. And I
yeah.
think
It's
the
not
thing is though, like
bill,
I've
real estate,
noticed,
or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, like all of the fun things, like
mm,
tax.
just
But
like try to
yeah,
be
no, I
human.
like they've got and they
Mm,
have bigger deals as well, I think. I don't think that anyone's sending out a letter with a 5% discount because that's
exactly.
why would you do that, you know? And
Yeah,
your email, I suppose your email costs you not like nichts, sorry, that was German, costs you nothing. Um, but that 5% is still just not going to sway me. Yeah. Brain sort of lagged.
yeah. What was it? It was uh, Baskin Robbins does free ice cream on your birthday. That's great. Again, that's like,
What? I need to get involved
exciting.
in that. They have
I
like
think it's
fairy
still,
floss flavor that is so good. Oh my gosh. Love your
yeah.
t-shirt,
See,
by the way. I'm just noticing that.
yeah,
Heaps
I mean,
cute.
I was gonna say on the thank you pages, we're gonna show you but they're pretty
Well,
dynamic
actually,
stuff.
that's a good
Hayflow does
segue.
great ones. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yep.
let's dive in.
So if we
What a
planned
perfect
it, we did
segue.
not really.
We did
Um,
not. We would have been a bit
I wish
smoother
these
with
were
it
more
had we have
planned.
planned it.
As if we have time and mental energy to plan this properly. Christ.
We
Um,
are just naturally this good. That's the thing.
yeah, it just flows out of us like other things that flow out of people. Oh, I love the segue.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I mean, again, this is a slightly different section. This is not like a Hall of Fame and Shame. Instead, this is more like different examples, different ways people do it. We'll
Give
kind
it
of talk through some.
context, give it visual context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, just so people can kind of see what we're talking about more.
hmm
Yeah.
Do you want me to share or are you sharing?
I'll share. It's all good.
Okay.
So I'm going to share the first one. Some TFI, we've shown a few of their pages before. They run brands like Commercial Experts and Consumer Experts. They are a big lead gen. They're good to see what they're doing. They've got they've got some of the elements we talked about on the thank you page. Then we're going to see if we can get through one of these funnels on a home security one. And then we're going to look at a couple other thank you pages. Again, just different approaches. You can just see how people are doing them. We'll give our thoughts, feelings, emotions on them, and as always, look at desktop and mobile.
Yes. Let's dive in.
Okay. So, Murchie's on Commercial Experts. So, first thoughts and emotions.
I
Courtney.
love I love that little animation. I think that's adorable.
Right, isn't it?
I love that
Yeah.
your name, William, is there. I
Yes.
love that there's a reference number. I don't love the color. Like, it's very painful to read.
I mean, that's on not to throw shade at Commercial Experts, but their entire brand, like that all very comic book style. And I'm always curious about how like I don't know, but I appreciate it. Clearly works. They do great. TFI is one of the larger lead gens. So yeah, but crack
You'll
on.
receive a call from.
Mm,
I don't know about that. That doesn't sound trustworthy. They
I
will take a few
agree.
additional details and provide you
Oh,
with a
we're going to
tailored
do
new application
mobile
quote.
as well. It's got a few of these
Compare
pages
how much
to.
you can save. I just don't know. You know what? The top, I mean,
Smashed it.
besides the terrible color scheme that they've got going on,
At
just
least it's
because it's
on
really
brand.
difficult to read.
Give it to them. It's
Yeah.
on brand.
Okay, yeah, on brand. Okay, that's something. That's true. But the bottom half, I'm gonna say it's a no from me. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I've so
We need maybe
go.
some icons, maybe just next to what happens next, just to sort of like I have to fully read everything that is said in there to know what's going to happen next. If I had like a little call emoji or something like that, like maybe that would
Or even
help.
just a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Will you receive a call from that? Just is like it's weird English, and why is it all in caps? And what is I don't. This is who are they? Tell me who they are.
I think
Or like
this definitely can be done better.
yeah.
This part here, like I do like the fact that it is short. Actually, it's something you don't often see on thank you page, like because there's quite a lot you want to do on them, but I think you have to keep it also relatively brief. So I'm not mad at it, but yeah, call from a
Yeah.
rep to. So when are they going to get the call? Out of hours, business hours, any of that information, is that relevant, or are they just going to get a call? From how many
Whenever, a month
as
from
well?
now.
They're going to
Blue
get
moon.
a call. That's not true. They're going to get multiple calls.
Yeah.
They will take additional details and provide you a tailored, no obligation quote. So why can't they provide a quote right now?
Yeah.
Often, so you usually have an FAQ section. What we didn't mention, I guess, but you often have an FAQ section that says, and compare how much you save. However, I will say, I think what they've done well is that they have edited this down really well. They have made this the main focus, which I really like, and I actually really want to see more people doing. Is I suspect this number is gibberish. It may not be. I suspect.
Well, I wonder, does it get referenced when they call just to make it sound more legit? Like, is that something that's going to be pushed through to the CRM, and then they're going to call up and be like, "Hey, then this is your reference number."
I'm looking at I've got some of the code open, and I don't know. I'm on. So I'm genuinely not sure. Maybe this is so. It would make sense to make this a real number. It could just be gibberish. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, it's probably the same for everyone though. So actually, it wouldn't need to go through. My brain took a second, but I mean, it's probably the same for everyone. So everyone's just going to call up and be like, "Hey, this is your reference number."
Yeah, but one thing I actually didn't show here, in fact, I might wonder if I can quickly get this up. So the first 2 pages before coming here, it was processing your application, loader, and then it was like creating your request, loader, and then it came to thank you for your request. So it like really piecemealed out.
That feels like something is happening.
Yeah, and then you get the reference number. So you're like, oh wow, this is,
That feels very
I
official.
have been put into some kind of queue. This is
Yeah,
happening. This is real. This is
yeah.
intelligent in
I
some
do
way.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I apologize. Actually, I'm not, so I apologize because I had to go through the entire flow to do that. So
Yeah,
maybe we
that's fine. I
want,
mean, that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, we are just doing thinky pages, but I think that's a good way to do it. I think that's connected quite well. I think that what happens next just needs a bit of an overhaul. Give us a little bit more
yeah,
information, write it out so it's more trustworthy. Give us a little bit of like visual kind of context as well. 1, 2, 3, little emojis, just something to kind of make it a little bit easier to sort of understand. And for goodness sake, that horrific font, please look out for their call. Just
I do wonder if that like catches people's eye. It's like trashy leech. One day we're going to do a
mm,
podcast episode on why Legion ads are trashy and why that's for the best.
yeah. It's
Because
wild. I can't believe that
yeah,
that's what works. But hey,
I don't
people
know,
are weird on the internet.
people are weird on the internet. Yeah. Um, so yes, I do wonder whether that's so. Admittedly, I don't know
Mm,
whether you could ever A/B test. I mean, I think
you
the
wouldn't be able
impact
to.
of a font
Oh, you
change
would,
would be
but
negligible, and you'd need thousands of appointments to look at that.
yeah,
Admittedly, if you run your own call
100%.
center and everything, then maybe you can get robust enough data to do
Yeah,
this, which would be cool. Yeah. So
yeah.
this is
I
one
think that was a
example.
really interesting one for the first one. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think I might move on to another example, which I think is a very different take, a very different approach. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll just share this one instead. So, best hearing aids AU from another.
That still is not very
Still, sorry,
um
this is a video that auto plays. It's not fair to
okay.
still it.
Is
Um,
this with the dubbing? Because we can't hear what he's saying.
yeah, yeah,
Or I
yeah.
can't.
Let's not do that. I will say like so. This is a video. I like the fact that it's a video, but
Yeah.
it's poorly dubbed, which just FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
let's
I mean, not to. I didn't mean. Yep. Whoop.
yeah.
I love
Let's not
this.
get too specific.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
this.
okay. So
I think
yeah,
it's so interesting.
congratulations.
I
Love
think.
that.
Yeah. Also, well,
Reiterated the
yeah,
value proposition. Love that.
yeah. I
The
do
video.
too. I always wonder about the random capitalization. Like, I get it. I think. Do you know, it's a bit. But
I
again,
wouldn't
and this
personally
is
do
one
it,
of
but
the
I could see how
things.
maybe, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just about condensing, drawing people's eyes. I could see how it could work
Yeah.
again, but I don't know. I mean, if I was a brand and I was running something high quality and trustworthy, or like very,
Yeah. I'd want
like
to have my copy
some,
being like, adhere to kind of just
yeah,
like general linguistic rules.
yeah.
Um,
But
but I
this is
love that
really cool, right?
it is
Hmm.
so good because it's going through each step. You've got it all written up so you don't actually need to listen, especially because it's for hearing aids. So don't even know if anyone really would have ever like, they're not going to listen to it, I think, but it just feels like very
You're
well
not going
thought
to
out.
listen to it because it's for hearing
Yeah,
aids.
I
That's
can't hear.
brutal. But it does write it out, and like I like the fact
Yeah.
it doesn't try to play noise at you immediately. Like that would be horrendous. I mean,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
my
and it
goodness, yeah.
also clearly shows who's getting the traffic. They're getting from Audica. So you know
Yeah.
they've answered that who, and they answered what happens next. They will receive a short call, and they
Yeah. See, this is a
obviously
bit of a
try
longer
to.
one, and I'm not against it at all because
Mm,
they've sort of gone through it, but like if you are not inclined to sort of sit there and watch that video, you still can just scroll down
yeah,
and then you just get all of that information that you want. And we do have an FAQ here, which I think is important. And again, a lot like trust. And with that sort of what happens next, not what happens next, but just the thing. It isn't
yeah,
what happens next, is
reiterating the
it?
user
Yeah.
journey. I
Yeah,
do think
exactly.
it's a very different, like I will say, just as sharing this tab again, you know this
I
is
mean, it's a
one
very different
approach.
approach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one road to Rome, another road to Rome. And I think it's
Yeah.
important to state, like, often we share like, oh, this is best practice, and like I think actually like best practice
It's
is a lot more fluid.
so yeah, definitely. I think we've seen that, especially in a few tests we've run recently. It's just
Yeah, it's fluid,
you just
it
can't account
depends.
for everything always.
So
Yeah.
let me just refresh that so that just so it, yeah. So
Loads
you can also
properly.
see on
Yeah.
mobile, like
Yeah. And you can
it's
still
all,
see, so you've got the video, but you can see the thing. See, on mobile, it feels a little bit long. Um,
yeah.
to be fair.
So maybe
But
this is more, maybe it's fair to say this is a more mobile optimized
yeah,
user journey.
that could,
Interesting. Never thought about
yeah.
that. But yeah. Um,
Mm,
should we show another, again, slightly more text heavy, slightly different, but I mean, I guess
let's do
this is
it.
like the in between.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a nice one
Well, I
at
like this
first
is
name.
pretty.
Yeah,
Looks
it's well
good.
designed. I have to say, I like this top
Yeah.
part as well.
I
I
like
will
the
suggest,
color, like it's nice.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Well, we've
I
not
do want
gone
to
through it.
quickly
We're just
flag.
showing it in its bare bones.
Yeah, just flag like at first name here. It would have a real name. It's just that's just a variable. This was built on Hayflow. Again, shout out to Hayflow. They are great. We love
Yeah.
them.
Hey, Flo.
And
Will is
yeah,
actually wearing Hayflow's t-shirt. We went on a workation to Spain and we all got
yeah,
t-shirts.
20.
I unfortunately left mine somewhere and I didn't get to bring mine home. So I don't have one.
Oh, well, I
I
brought
know.
home permanent scars when I fell on that holiday. So yeah, I thought I'd keep the t-shirt.
Falling
So
off a bicycle is so humbling at anywhere above 12 years old, to be fair.
it was
Hey,
really steep.
you did it
Okay,
with style. You did it with style.
sounded out, i.e., passed out. It's great. Moving on, moving on. This is
Yeah,
about the thank you page, not about my
yeah.
questionable ability to ride a damn bike. Yeah, so this one's a
I
nice
mean,
one.
we've got the congratulations, the nice one. We've got the
Yeah,
first name. I like that. We've got the
yeah.
two, so like a very clear headline. We've got the two little ticks underneath that, which look good. And then we have kind of that really like answer your phone. This is the fastest way to get your quote. And we just sort of have that like visually. And I think that the good thing about this one is it follows such a nice visual hierarchy. You kind of have all of the really important stuff like bold, bigger, and then you've got little explainer text underneath that. So if you just want to have a general, okay, well, what's going to happen? You get that straight away. If you understand why it's happening, then you can just read the rest of it. So I think that that's a really nice combination.
I would quite like. I mean, I'd love. I think a video could also work. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I do like.
I think
I
any kind
obviously
of like
got the little.
visual, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Even just
agreed.
a
Because like,
picture.
and actually, one thing I was thinking for this one is also that reference number. I'm like shoving through a
Yeah.
reference number. That like this is your thing. Just so you know. That can also, I think that could be a really interesting improvement to this page. But yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
again, it's like that halfway, just so people can, if we're showing this tab, this is like a
Yeah. It's
lot of
middle of the
text.
road type of thing.
Oof,
Yeah.
yeah, this is, so again, lots of roads roam, this is the strip back,
Yeah.
then
And I
this is
think the
the
cool
like
thing is
in between.
you can really yeah, you can really see how like different elements from each one could also work sort of within the others and things like that. So you can really sort of like mix and match and just kind of see like what is actually going to like well, I suppose it's really hard to test, but it's just worth, keeping that or being mindful of that and just making
Yeah,
sure that that bridge to the sales process is solid, you know?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's just what we want.
Yeah, and I will say what we're showing, we actually, I think, given time, we may not try to show another one because we are coming up to time. But I
Yeah.
think it's important to mention, I'm going to actually stop sharing here. What we've shown here are like the lead gen thank you pages. First off, none of those had cross-selling on those for relatively
Yep.
good reason.
Yep.
Cross-selling generally, like if you want to do it, do it via the sales rep like that. That's a sales job at this point. Don't do it on the lead gen side. It is greedy. Second point, if you're a brand, I think it's like it does change. Like we haven't shown any brand pages there, but yeah, show your and like brand pages are usually terrible as well. But like show your team, see what's going to happen next. Like you
Yeah.
have much more control of
Laura.
what's going to happen. Give the number they're going to get phoned from. That's a great tip. Actually, I should
Yeah.
mention that earlier.
Again, it's
But
aligning that experience. It's aligning kind of,
mm,
what is being offered and what is actually going to happen, and then just kind of being able to, anchor that in reality so that people feel so much more like taken care of, and
mm,
that's actually worth picking up that phone.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And actually, maybe final thing we'll leave on just that final link between sale. Again, lead gen is as good as the marketing and sales process that power them. The good sales process here, contact within 5 minutes and up to 8 times within 5 working days. If they happen in contact the first time, track your speed to lead, vitally important because often that you'll see, I'd say again and again, like lead quality declines, marketing goes crazy. Turns out sales have, well, not sales' fault. It's often for good structural reasons, but the contact, we've had a dip there, and you can like
Yeah.
usually quantitatively track this back if you have the data. A really common one is like loads of leads being generated out of hours, for instance, And
Yeah.
as a result, it's clogging up the sales call as soon as they come in. And so all the leads are now getting phoned hours late because like they're still working
Yeah.
through the call log, particularly smaller teams. So just like it's just something to be aware of.
Definitely.
Yeah, the sales process really does matter when
Yeah.
you're thinking about this
100%.
connection.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, that was fun. I'm looking forward to next week as well.
Yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
that'll be
awesome.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
agreed.
it's been a pleasure. If you've come
As
this far,
always.
comment the void.
Comment the void. Still, no one's commented the void. If they have, we haven't noticed. I'm very sorry. But if you make it this far,
Okay. Yeah.
we
Please
do get
do.
the void on our t-shirts at some point, and that'd be good.
I want to get swimming with flippers.
Swim with purpose into the void.
Yeah.
The CRO black hole, and it's just like
Yeah, exactly. It is just us in it. Okay, that's amazing. I'm gonna have to ask AI to create that image. All right.
we'll get our faces in it.
Love it. Love it. All
Absolutely
right.
insane.
Well,
All
everyone,
right.
thank you very much. Bye.